NBC6 News Today at 6:30 starts with breaking news.
6:30 on your Friday morning, and we start this half hour with a somber sight on the Florida State campus in Tallahassee. This makeshift memorial that continues to grow just hours after a gunman went on a shooting spree on the campus.
All right, here's what we know this morning. At least 2 people were killed and 6 others were hurt. The man who pulled the trigger, he was a student at FSU and is also in the hospital after he was shot by police. All right, good morning, South Florida. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Constance Jones.
And I'm Chris Anderson. We have team coverage for you this morning. NBC6's Brianna Nespral is going to have more on what universities here in South Florida are doing to make sure that their campuses are safe.
NBC's Jay Gray, he's actually in Tallahassee for us this morning and will walk us through what's next for the investigation. But we begin with NBC6's Julia Bagg, who joins us live with more on what happened and how the victims are doing this morning. Julia.
Yeah, and Constance, certainly a somber morning from here to Tallahassee for the loved ones of the 2 people killed, of those in the hospital, for parents here in South Florida who were panicked for their own children at Florida State University after what happened yesterday. And so what we know this morning is that at least 5 of the 6 injured are being treated for gunshot wounds in the hospital. That's the word from FSU's police chief. We know that all 6 of those who survived with injuries, they are all in fair condition at last check. And we want to caution you that some of the images you're about to see are indeed disturbing.
Moments of horror as a shooter opened fire at Florida State University. Gunshots blasted across campus. This video appears to show a man shooting at people by the student union. Students evacuated, some with their hands above their heads. The shooting began just before noon. Investigators say 2 people are dead, 6 others are injured.
We have multiple crime scenes. This is a very large area we're covering. This is an active, ongoing investigation.
Authorities say suspect Phoenix Eichner is in the hospital. The 20-year-old is the son of a current sheriff's deputy, according to the Leon County Sheriff.
Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene.
As warnings of an active shooter went out across campus, some evacuated, others barricaded themselves inside campus buildings.
We blocked the doors with tables and stuff. I couldn't get through to 911.
Multiple law enforcement agencies rushed to the scene.
This way, this way.
Officers cleared buildings room by room, using a code word to evacuate students. President Trump was asked if he wants to see any changes to gun legislation following the attack.
I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment. I have been from the beginning. I protected it. And these things are terrible. But the gun doesn't do the shooting. The people do. It's, a phrase that's used probably too often. I will tell you that it's a shame.
And this is not the first incident of a shooting on FSU's campus. Back in 2014, a different shooting rocked the campus community there. That's when an alumnus opened fire inside a library, leaving 3 people injured, including 2 students and 1 employee at that library. And so this morning in Tallahassee, you can imagine students just trying to recover mentally from what happened yesterday. And we do know that the FSU community is planning a vigil this evening on campus to come together with everyone there in Tallahassee. Chris, Constance, back to you.
Julia, thank you. And we want to bring you back up to Tallahassee, a look at the makeshift memorial that continues to grow, put together by students hours after this tragedy took place. As the memorial grows, so too do students' commitment to each other. They say it's now important more than ever to rally around each other in Seminole solidarity.
This is my school. These are my peers, and we just got to show out at this point. This is not the time to go to your rooms. This is the time to show people that you're there for them.
Counseling services are now available on campus and all over the phone as well for anyone who needs someone to talk to. This heartbreaking tragedy is bringing gun control in our state into sharper focus, with the latest developments trying to reverse a law that was put into place after the 2018 mass shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. Florida House of Representatives voted to lower the minimum age to buy a gun from 21 to 18 years old, repealing a law that was passed after 17 students and staff members were shot and killed in Parkland. Supporters argue it's about fairness. If 18-year-olds can vote and serve in the military, they should be able to buy firearms. Opponents argue, including Parkland families and survivors, that repealing the law dishonors the lives that were lost. Now the bill's fate is uncertain as it makes its way to the Senate.
And this morning, lawmakers are reacting to this tragedy. Of course, Governor Ron DeSantis posted a video on X saying that he and his wife, Casey, are standing in solidarity with the Florida state community.
We're mourning the two individuals who lost their lives in this tragic attack, and we wish well those who are currently recovering in the hospital. This killer must and will be brought to justice to the fullest extent of the law.
The Florida GOP posting a statement saying in part that our prayers are with the Florida State University community and those injured in the horrific shooting that took place on campus. Congressman Jared Moskovich, who represents Parkland, posted this in part saying that I've lived this in Parkland and it's the worst thing I've ever witnessed in my life. And this is what the Florida Democrats posted, saying in part that we are so sorry that you had to endure this terror again. Our elected officials have failed you. Our team coverage continues this morning with NBC's Jay Gray. He's in Tallahassee.
And Jay, we appreciate you spending some time with us here this morning. What are the next steps? Obviously, still early on in this investigation. Where does it stand now and where is it headed?
Yeah, and Chris Constance, the FBI, describes this as a very active, ongoing investigation. One, they say, is going to take some time as they try to continue to gather evidence. There are several shooting scenes here on the campus, including here where we are, just outside of the student union. We also know that they are going through investigations and interviews at this point with witnesses. They're asking anyone who was at the shooting scenes who may have video or photos. That includes potentially hundreds of students who were on campus at the time to turn that over. That, they say, will be a huge help in this investigation. And they're also, of course, talking to the mother of the accused gunman. She serving on the sheriff's department here for more than 18 years. That gunman, or alleged gunman, is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, who was a political science major here at FSU.
Well, Jay, we have a lot of parents here in South Florida who have students or know someone who's at the campus there. Is there going to be any time today for them to pick up those items that might have been lost in the chaos from yesterday?
Yeah, and in fact, Constance, that's going to start at 10 o'clock this morning and will run through the afternoon here. Students need to bring an ID, obviously. They'll be allowed into many of the buildings to gather what they may have left behind in the rush and all of the chaos, and they can continue to do that again through the afternoon. But also here throughout the day, the Student Life Center will be open, and it will be open for counseling for any students, any family members, any faculty, anyone who's been involved in this and feels like they need someone to talk to. So that's another resource that they will have available. Obviously, no classes here today, but there will still be a bit of activity here, and a lot of people still just stunned and trying to figure out what comes next.
Yeah, just a hard day for us here across the state. Jay Gray live for us in Tallahassee. Thank you for that live update.
News of the tragedy in Tallahassee is being felt at universities all across the state of Florida. Here in South Florida, we're seeing a response from Florida International University, where leaders at FIU are reassuring the community members that everybody, the students, the faculty on campus, are safe. NBC6's Brianna Nesbrawl live for us at FIU this morning, where investigators, or rather the campus officials, are responding by putting out a bold statement, just reassuring everybody that the campus is safe and the police commitment to that initiative.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Chris. Students and staff should also expect to see more officers here on campus over the next several days. Campus police say they're increasing patrols, and Sweetwater Police is helping out as well.
Nearly 500 miles south of Florida State University, FIU interim president Jeanette Nunez said in a statement, "We want you to know our police department is here, engaged, and ready to keep you safe." FIU students say they appreciate how the campus is handling the situation.
It makes me feel good. I'm glad that they're, becoming aware and understanding that, the safety of the students is first, and security of the school is 100% priority.
That makes me feel a little more better to come to school, a little safer, where I can just rely on my school and feel safe that I know there's people around me, and I know that the cops are going to do something about it, hopefully, and try to get it done as fast as possible and not let it get worse.
Florida State University has been receiving condolences from across the state following Thursday's shooting tragedy. The University of Miami released a statement. It read in part, quote, "Our thoughts are with all those affected, especially the families, friends, and loved ones impacted. As a fellow member of the ACC, we stand in unity with the Seminoles." The president of the University of Florida also released a statement. It reads, quote, "I join everyone at the University of Florida in sending our most caring thoughts and deepest sympathies to the Florida State University family. Our hearts go out to everyone who has been affected by the shootings and their loved ones."
FIU police say it has a program to help the campus prepare for an active shooter situation. The university is also providing counseling. Live this morning from FIU, I'm Brianna Nussbaugh, NBC6 News.
Bree, thank you. And we're, of course, going to have continuing coverage on the deadly mass shooting that happened at Florida State University. Our own NBC6 reporter Jamie Garola will continue to bring you live reports and coverage from Tallahassee, on air, online, and through our digital platforms as we learn more information as the investigation continues into this tragedy. It's 6:41. You're watching NBC6 Today. We'll be right back.